What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilkin. By now, you probably already heard we are getting Easy A's for the 7th anniversary LRs, which is awesome. Let's talk about it. So, of course, they're going to get, it says leader skill and passive boosted, but I don't think I saw a boost to their leader skill. Let's take a quick look at this here. So, Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Movie Heroes category key plus 3 HP attack and defense 170. That's the same, isn't it? Hold on. I literally have them right here. So I got to pull them up here, but it says before transformation, but it doesn't say before because it's clearly level 25. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now. So it says Power Bound Super Saiyan or Movie Heroes category key plus 3 HP attack and defense 170 plus additional 30 to Kamehameha plus additional 30 to Kamehameha. I don't think the leader skill actually got boosted. I wouldn't be shocked to see that go up to like 180%. Maybe this is a misprint. Because it did say, hold on, we got to go back here for a second. So it did say leader skill and passive skill boosted. But this isn't like the before shot. Unless it is. Hold on. Let me check their... So like I said, I've got them right here. So passive skill. So current passive skill is guards all attacks for 1 turn, and theirs just starts off with damage. Yeah, so that is so maybe it's a misprint or something. I'm gonna guess they probably boosted it. So the passive skill is different. So we'll just assume. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it'll probably be 180% with a 30% boost to the other team, but we don't know at the moment. Maybe the other one shows it, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a misprint. Or maybe but it does say here the leader skill gets boosted. Am I missing something? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens when it drops. So neither here nor there. Passive skill is... damage reduction 77% and launches an additional super attack for 1 turn, which is awesome. Then key plus 2 attack and defense 100% and guards all attacks for 7 turns, which is again awesome. Base effect, and this says activates upon entrance animation. So basically when they first come into the end of the fight, all that goes down. Now, basic effect, attack and defense 200%. Receives an additional key plus 2 per key sphere obtained, which is awesome. Attack and defense 10% up to 77% for every key sphere obtained, which is awesome. Chance of performing a critical hit up 10% for every rainbow sphere obtained, which is awesome. Launches an additional super attack with 17 or more key, and then attacks effective against all types and launches an additional super attack above 20 keys. So unit's awesome. Now, and I want to emphasize, they still have room to grow because this is just their base level. They have not even transformed yet. Now, if you remember, these units all were really good at their base level, but they lost a lot of their stacking when they kind of transformed. So we'll see if that's still the case. So, our super attack, our 12 keys, greatly raises attack and defense. It causes colossal damage to the enemy. That's really good. Then the 18 key is greatly raises attack and defense. It causes some mega colossal damage to the enemy. Once again, infinite stacking on both, which is really awesome. And that's just a rehash of that same information. So let's see what they do once they go Super Saiyan Blue. It doesn't say anything about the leader skill, but the leader skill wouldn't change there. So I'm curious. But we'll have to see what happens. Anyway, we'll get to his information in a minute. So, once they transform, damage reduction 77% for 1 turn attack and defense up 30%. Receives an additional key plus 2 per key sphere obtained. Attacks are effective against all types. Guards all attacks. High chance of performing a critical hit, which is awesome, which means you don't need crits on this guy anymore. Medium chance of evading enemies' attack, which is awesome. Now, though, do remember that a medium chance is like 50%. So it's not something, maybe like 40%. I think medium is actually 40. So it's not something you can super rely on. We'll talk about what you want to do with their skills here shortly, because that medium chance could use some improvement. I won't lie. changes key spheres into rainbow, which is awesome. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to int. Whoa. So wait, hold on. So the first 4 turns from the character's entry, it's already changing key spheres to int, and then it's changing those key spheres and its base effect to rainbow spheres. So for the first 4 turns after this dude arrives, he's going to pick a random sphere, say just blue, change those to purple, then change all those to rainbow. And he gets a big boost for a rainbow sphere. Now, I know it's later on in the stack, but since it's 4 turns from the character's entry, I would think it would happen before this. I think it would be a priority move. If not, that's a big mistake, but whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Well, hold on. Let's go back up here. So attacks. So yeah, it's just 2 key per key sphere obtained. It doesn't specify int spheres, so it's going to be really hard to get int spheres because they're going to be on the board. So yeah, like I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think that's going to happen before the base effect, because even if you go back to the other one, the entry effects happen beforehand. So I think that's basically the way that's going to go down. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's the way I see that happening, even though it's later on in the build here. For every key sphere obtained, attack and defense plus 10% up to 100%. Awesome. Chance of performing a critical hit and chance of evading enemy's attack up 10% for every rainbow sphere obtained. Oh my god. So you don't need evasion. You just need rainbow spheres. And he changes rainbow spheres anyway, so forget it. Forget it. Go all in on double attack. Just go all in on double attack. In fact, high chance of reporting critical hit plus another 10% on top of that. And do remember, like, all this happens in the same turn. So things that happen in the passive are calculated in the passive. So it's not like he gets 50% and like the old days where, old dokkan math, where you then start stacking the 10%, but it would lose a percentage every time. Right now, the way dokkan math works is all those percentages are added in together. So at the end, you have a certain percentage chance. So we get a single attack. It's a 60% chance. Or, well, he's high. Yeah, I think it's like 60 at that point. Maybe up to 70. It just gets better and better. So critical hits just short of maybe wanting to get the first attack to be a critical hit, I could see an argument there. Because remember, every rainbow sphere obtained. So it doesn't matter. Your first hit's going to be a critical hit anyway. Anyway, 70 more key spheres obtained launches an additional super attack. When attacking 20 or more key, launches an additional super attack. When evading enemy skill or attacking with 24 or more key, another 50%. And performs a critical hit and launches when attacking. Wait. What? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, good grief. These guys are nuts. Completely nuts. The only thing that will be interesting to see if the spheres kind of do what I predict they're going to do, but we'll see. So, after transformation, the 12 key is massively raises attack and greatly raises defense for 1 turn. So we'll still raise attack, just defense won't get better. And the 18 key is massively raises attack and defense for 4 turns. It causes Mega Claw. So before, one of the big things is you wanted to hold off on these transformations until a bit later, but that's not even a thing anymore. Like, you could transform basically from when they enter, and then they'll just go nuts. So that's crazy. Let's talk about the Super Saiyan 4s, because Fused Fighter, GT heroes, key plus 3, HP attack and defense 170, an additional 30% for characters belonging to Kamehameha. So I wonder, honestly, if maybe because did it say here that their leader skills? Because I think that's the same leader skill. If it's a boost, it's not enough of a boost to satisfy me. But you had to double check on the units themselves. I think it's the same. I'm willing to bet that's a misprint. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. These should come out like tomorrow, so we'll have to see what happens. So passive skill before they transform. Activates entrance animation and upon character's entry, damage reduction 77% and launches an additional super attack for 1 turn. Key plus 2 attack and defense 100% and guards all attacks for 7 turns. Then basic effect is attack and defense plus 200%. Receives an additional key 2 per key sphere obtained. Just general key spheres. It's not type related. For every key sphere obtained, attack and defense 10% up to 77, which you're going to get all the time. Chance of performing a critical hit 10% for every key sphere obtained. Attacking with 17 or more, you get an extra attack, and with 20 spheres or more, attacks effective against all types and launches an additional special. So they're crazy. Like, basically, I mean, these guys at the start were even the same unit roughly, but wow, just wow. And once again, infinite stacking with the colossal damage at 12 key, and the 18 key is greatly raises attack and defense indefinitely. So essentially, what you can do is you're gonna get the 18 key off. Like, it's just gonna happen. So you're gonna get the first 18 key, and you'll get that greatly raises attack. Every subsequent attack will be at the 12 key marker. So basically, for as long as they're untransformed, they'll come back in, get that 18 key, and get the 12 key, and they'll just infinitely stack, and their attack and defense will get better. However, once they transform, let's see here. Actually, since we're talking about super attack, we'll go look at super attack very specifically. So, massively raises on the 12 key and greatly raises defense for 1 turn. Now, remember, that means that you're going to get that massively raises attack every single turn this guy's in play. So he's going to hit harder and harder and harder every time. Raises defense for 1 turn means you basically lose your defensive stacking. You will still get, you will defend a little bit better after the turn than he does beforehand, but all that defensive stacking happens before the transformation, just like it did before. So, do bear that in mind. But I don't think they actually stacked attack in their transform state before, so I think that is actually new. The other one is massively raises attack and defense for 4 turns, and it causes mega colossal damage. Now, while there's a part of me that's over here like, yeah, wow, 4 turns, oh great. The reality is, the massively raises attack and defense for 4 turns on top of the other stacking. Most events, you'll be done with that. There are very few events live now or even later on in the game where you're going to go more than 4 turns with these guys transformed. Now, we do know now that we have units that are encroaching on the billions of HP, so, obviously things are just going to progress. But for the foreseeable, future of the game, even though power creep is a thing, it's just it just is what it is. Like, these guys are going to be absolute monsters. Now let's look at their passive real quick. Okay, damage reduction 77% for 1 turn, attack and defense 300%. Receives an additional key plus 2 per sphere obtained. Attacks effective against all types. Guards all attacks. High chance of performing a crit. Launches an additional super attack. Foresees enemies' super attack. That's actually really good. Now, dude's defensively awesome, but doesn't mean he's going to be running on a team with units that are defensively awesome. And that gives you a big incentive to transform him early, because that could make or break your game. So that is a huge addition, and that should not be undersold. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow spheres, just like the other one did. Attack and defense 10% per rainbow sphere obtained. For every regular key sphere obtained, up to 100%. So that basically means you'll get up to 100% and then it'll stop growing. But, I mean, most of the time with the way he's built, you're going to kind of get 10 orbs all the time. Unless you squander those orbs on somebody else. Chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction 10% for every rainbow sphere obtained. When activating the active skill or when attacking with 24 key, attack plus 50%. When receiving an attack, damage reduction up 50% within the turn when HP is 50% or less. Okay, it's very conditional, but it is what it is. When receiving a super attack, great chance of nullifying it and countering with tremendous power. So we still have that built in. Nullifies it and counters with tremendous power when facing only one enemy, and that enemy's HP is 50% or less. Oh. So wait, that's guaranteed? Is that guaranteed? Okay, yeah, seems like that's guaranteed. Now, it'll only activate once because it's got that little marker there next to it. So it is what it is. But basically, your first super attack is guaranteed to be... This dude's nuts. These guys are crazy. So these should be coming in here shortly. We'll find out dates and all that stuff here more soon. I don't think there was a date listed. Let's double check that here. But usually they drop these, and then these EZAs drop in short order. So when they do drop, which I'm going to guess will be either late tonight or early tomorrow, we'll cover those. We'll build some teams with you guys. I think we can pretty much guess which teams you're going to need for them. But we'll cover all that coming up here shortly. Like, share, comment, all the good things, and I'll see you again real soon.